from Lagos, the nation's commercial capital. This is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Sulaiman Aleda.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, Joint Task Force in Kogi raids what it calls a training camp for armed group. Arrest over 100 trainees. Federal government bans unauthorized entry of armed security personnel into airports. Two committees at the National Conference reject proposal for state police. And the United States imposes sanctions on key members of Russian President Vladimir Putin's cabinet.
On Business News tonight, data released by the Central Bank of Nigeria indicates an increase in the external reserves by more than $100 million.
And on Sports News tonight, a day of mixed fortunes for Nigeria at the World Team Table Tennis Championships holding in Tokyo, Japan.
I'm Linda Kiwe, and from Abuja, Federal High Court Abuja stops House investigation into controversial 10 billion naira spent on chartered jet services by a petroleum minister.
Well, 500 young Nigerians have been dislodged from an illegal naval merchant school situated in Ida, Kogi State, north-central of Nigeria. The naval commander, NNS Lugard Lokoja Commander Shua Abdurrahman Mohammed, who led the Joint Task Force team, says that the training school was operating illegally. He accused the institution of being an armed group with the sole aim of disturbing the peace and stability of the nation. But this allegation has been denied by those behind the institution.
It's an earlier raid that catches everyone here off guard. Both the students and their instructors are all rounded up by a joint military operation.
This is not a sea training institution. It's not a seafarers institution, but an armed group who are ready to disrupt the peace and security of this country. And with this approach of 2015, we cannot allow them to go on. We are here to dislodge them finally and give the people of this area peace. Before we came finally here, we are told they've been setting red blocks and even committing armed robbery on the road. What I have here, this is a pump action rifle, automatic pump action rifle with expended rounds.
The conditions here fall well below the standards of what is expected from a naval merchant institution. The living conditions are awful. Uncompleted, dilapidated buildings and living quarters that would make one gasp. And of course, there's the training materials used here. Crudely fashioned wooden guns and obstacle courses. As the occupants of the institution are taken away, the leaders of the Joint Task Force reels out a litany of transgressions against them.
The institution is illegal. It has been pronounced by the federal government, by NIMASA. The only place for training merchant navy and seafarers is Maritime Academy, Nigeria, Oron. That's the only seafarers. As you heard earlier, somebody was deceived into coming here that from joining the merchant navy, he will eventually join the navy, because that's how civil defense started. They started like this, and they are now being recognized by government, and they now have, they're backed by law. So that's what the plan was. There's nothing here more than somebody, especially military personnel who are looking for job, the rest of this ex-military personnel, looking for job, bringing these innocent Nigerians, deceiving them, paying up to 250,000 times 500. I let that to you. Times 500. So it's a big business.
While those in charge of the institution insisted they sought the permission of the government before the school came into operation. The students speak about the journey that brought them here.
what we are doing today here, we believe is not illegal. Because if we are illegal, we won't have meetings with the Minister of Transport in Abuja. So what we are doing today is not illegal. This is making it one year and 3 weeks.
The future of these young Nigerians now lies in the balance. Or maybe after investigations, as the military has promised, the picture would be clearer as to what led them to this training camp, which more or less looks like a slum.
While a former Ghanaian president, Jerry Rawlings, has warned Nigeria over what the use of military to counter the insurgency being perpetrated by Boko Haram. The former Ghanaian leader told the BBC today that the military alone cannot stop the insurgency. Mr. Rawlings also expressed regrets at the security situation in the country and warned that the nation must resist the temptation of seeking the assistance of foreign powers in solving its problems. Well, the Nigerian government is certainly not leaving anything to chance in its fight against terror. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Aminu Bashir Wali, told the UN Assembly in New York today that steps are being taken in collaboration with neighboring countries to stop the killings in the northeast.
There is no doubt that terrorism has emerged as a global monster that requires the collaboration of the international community to deal with. We are taking some definite steps in collaboration with our neighbors to find lasting solutions to the menace. I can assure you, in due course, we will eliminate this danger to our country. The indiscriminate killings, abduction of students, and other mindless acts of terror embarked upon by Boko Haram terrorists, especially in the northeastern part of my country, have necessitated reassessment of the threat posed by the group and commensurate actions by our security forces. We believe in dealing robustly with the proliferation of criminal gangs, and the ready availability of illicit arms and live weapons is essential.
As Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister, Ambassador Aminu Bashir Wali, speaking earlier today at the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Now, still on security, the nation's security situation continues to worry many Nigerians, including state governors in the southwest. Governor of Oyo State, Abiola Ajimobi, says the government needs to be in control of security in the northeast to send fear into the camp of Boko Haram insurgents. He seemed dissatisfied with government's strategy at dealing with the menace.
We might say we are doing a lot, but how did they even abduct them in the first instance? Are we really using, nowadays is the time of electronics world, is the time of satellite world. How come our government is not able to even prevent as against always reacting? I think we must learn to be in charge, to be in control, and let the Boko Haram group or whoever they might be, let them more or less be afraid that government will take action and we can preempt them. It's better to prevent than to try to now cure. I think we should take preventive measures in what we do. I think we should use electronics media, we should use satellite, that's what they do in all advanced countries, which you know what will happen. What should happen next month, we should be knowing by now, not always reacting as if we are in the Stone Age.
Well, in the meantime, the Director of Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, has again reassured the nation that the military is acting on every piece of information so far received to ensure it secures the freedom of the missing school girls. Major General Olukolade's reassurance is in response to accusation by some elders from Chibok, Borno State, that the government is not doing enough to end their anxiety and search for the school girls. The defense chief insists that no information on the missing girls is being ignored by the military and that at the end of the operation, the girls would be reunited with their parents. In part two, after the break, the absence of a key prosecution witness stalls the trial of Fred Ajudua in Lagos. That's in a moment. Please join us again.